But first half, excellent display. Ndombele getting on the ball, superb. Some of the things he were doing were like next level, unreal. Second half, yes, they grew more into the game, didn't they, Wolves?
They did.
Made it difficult for us, and it actually was very equally poised. It was on a bit of a knife edge. The game could have gone either way. They somehow got back into it from 2-0 down when we were absolutely coasting through that game. They got it back to 2-1 and just thinking, how is this possible to claim, what's the expression, to claim...
clutch victory from the jaws of defeat.
The clutch defeat from the jaws of victory.
The
other way around.
Way.
So it looks as though it could have gone that way, but we actually won a penalty shootout. The penalty takers, let's talk about this. You were loving that, weren't you?
Well, mate, we were both nervous. Kane took his penalty as Kane does.
Yep.
Kane hits the side netting. It's
more so than you've ever seen any player.
Oh, without a doubt. Then we saw Regulon, which we knew was coming on.
We were worried about that.
Penalty, but the second one, but what a way to take it.
Fantastic penalty, yeah.
And then hop, skip, and a jump hill.
Oh, I loved Hill's penalty.
That was that makes Jorginho's penalty look like nothing now with the hop, skip, and a jump.
It was beautiful.
And then thankfully Wolves were just shocking with their final one.
Shocking. I mean, Højbjerg's penalty was poor, wasn't it?
That's the one poor thing he's done in his life.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, you'd have to say you can't really knock the guy, can you? Absolute warrior that man is. But we're through. And we're through to play Burnley away.
We've got Burnley away, and there's a couple of people inside. We've got Manchester United who have just been knocked out. Sorry, West Ham have just knocked out Manchester United. Well, their reward is to play Man City at home. So they haven't got it easy. And there's a few. Do you want me to read them out quickly? Just go through them.
Yeah, go on then.
Let's do it. Let's get them up on my phone again. Give me 2 seconds. So the draw is.
Do you want me to keep them entertained?
You keep them entertained. You sing a song or do something.
Shall I juggle or shall I do?
Oh, no, I can't find it.
I'll just say. Oh, go on.
1 second. Here we go. Right. So Chelsea at home to Southampton. Arsenal at home to Leeds.
They're always at home, aren't they, Arsenal?
Yep, they always get it. Stoke versus Brentford. West Ham City. Leicester Brighton. Burnley away to Spurs. QPR versus Sunderland, and Preston versus Liverpool.
Burnley away to Spurs or Spurs away at Burnley?
Spurs away at Burnley.
Oh, Spurs away at Burnley, yeah.
Tottenham away at Burnley.
Why is we always get the away ties?
I don't know.
Arsenal always get the...
It's on a week of October the 25th, which is my last week in England. So do you know what? Maybe I'll come and do that and watch along with you.
Beautiful. I really enjoyed having Brian in today. There's loads of banter. It's been excellent, been really excellent. Just before we do, quickly mention the protest and quickly mention the channel.
So I have a channel called Tottenham on Tour, which is myself and Brian Island, which I'll put the link in the chat very, very shortly, which is we were on Tottenham away, but because of COVID and everything getting back to normal time constraints, we had to split. And then, the protest, all I can say is, listen, everyone knows, I think everyone, even if you're watching this for the first time, I think the world knows about my thoughts about a certain chairman. So there is a planned protest on the 10th and 17th for the NFL games. And we're not going there to cause trouble or anything. We're there to educate and to try and get our voices heard and to try and get the certain person out, because one trophy in 20 years amongst a host of other things. Yeah. And we need to do, but most importantly, I mean, the final straw for me, or the final straw was a long time ago, but another straw to put on there is just what's going on with Jimmy Greaves. Yeah. And no statue planned. I think it's an absolute...
Can you explain that one just for people?
Yeah, so obviously... the fans, obviously, with the passing of the greatest striker we've ever had and probably this country will ever see.
Maybe the greatest England player we've ever had as well, arguably.
I'd go that far. Well, the Spurs fans wanted to have a statue in his honour, obviously, to commemorate him and pay their respects. And Daniel Levy has said no. And apparently we have an actual no statue policy with the club. And the only thing we have is that Bill Nicholson bust. And he has said, we're not going to have a statue, which has obviously caused more outrage. And it's like, literally, what if there's any man that deserves one, apart from Bill Nick?
Yeah.
The two of them, I would say the two of them
top two.
Definitely deserve it. And the fact that it's just, nope. And there's
just written off, just
right off our history. Just like it's nothing. It's unacceptable. Yeah. So we're going to see what we can do. We've tried everything else. So the main aim is to not get the game cancelled or anything, but people have got to understand that the NFL images everything, and any bad publicity, they will swallow Daniel Levy whole and rip up that contract, or they will cut them off at the source. And I think it's the only way we're going to get him out is by cutting off their supply to the money. So we're going to try. We're going to try our hardest, and that's why, as I said to you, the Crystal Palace game, I specifically came back at this time of year.
I know, I can really.
Because I've been saying it on on all the streams I go on that I will help with the Leave You Out movement, but I can't help from Canada. So here I am, and we'll see what we can do.
There we go. We jetted him in for it.
First class.
For this.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
first class. Yeah.
First class, better see him on the way back, please.
Yeah. There you go. So I'd just like to say thank you to Brian for coming in today. It was an absolutely brilliant watch along that we did. But we're going to move into the fan show now, and I'd like to know what you thought of the game, especially the complexion of the game. I actually thought the first half was excellent. Ndombele was excellent. I want to know who your favourite players were. I want to know what you'd like to see us, what would be our perfect starting lineup going forwards. And also, just for a bit of fun, if you want, just say if you could take one player from the past and you could put him into this team, who would that be as well? So you can have a little think about that. We mentioned that during the watch along. And also, just finally, I'd like to say I missed a couple of super chats just before we went to the break. So if you want to put in the chat section, just put @WeAreTottenhamTV and just post your question again, and I'll make sure that I read that out again. So apologies for that, but we were just before the break there. So should we go into the first? Should we do it?
Come on down.
Come on, bring him on. Brad, he's always in first, this guy. I tell you what, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, Brad, you have to tell me.
He must be a hacker because he's always the first one in the queue.
I just say when you get, you're supposed to go live at 10, but I thought obviously with penalties that's going to delay it.
Yeah.
But I just sort of milling around, and I was actually thinking, you know what, if they go on too late, I'll just need an early night. But then I thought, let's have a look, and here I am. So
there he does it. Take a leaf out of Brad's book.
Yeah, you're asking me about the game. I'm actually on here to ask you about the game because.
Oh really?
It was.
Oh, you don't got to see it.
Yeah, no, I saw the first. I saw you guys for the first half.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was good. And I thought, we're playing really well. So I was really annoyed that we're playing well and off in the 5 minutes. So I managed to find the dodgy live stream with foreign commentary. The problem was it was about 2 minutes behind. So I'm watching it at like 56 minutes, and then my phone goes, "Bing! Spurs official, Wolves 2, Spurs 2."
Oh yeah, it kills the buzz a little bit, isn't it?
So I had to put my phone on mute, and then I noticed that the actual commentary was slightly behind as well. So I thought,
dear, oh dear.
I can't really watch it that way. So I thought I'll put it on silent. So I watched it silent.
Charlie Chaplin.
And then I'm waiting for the penalty shootout. In fact, Nuno's giving the talk, so I'm thinking they're going to have extra time.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the broadcast just ended on my Twitter feed. It just went bang and it was gone. So I didn't know what was going on. Couldn't get it back. And I eventually got to you guys again, and I think it was 3-2 in the penalty shootout at that time. And I think so I watched you guys' commentary for the end of it.
The moral of the story, Brad: never leave us.
It was I'm glad we're through. I was. You probably saw my prediction last night that we wouldn't go through, but I'm glad we're through.
Yeah.
From what you were saying, they seem to play really, really well in that first half. But I'm a bit worried that we play well, and then suddenly there's a bit of adversity, and we seem to crumble. It's not good.
What do you put that down to, Brad?
I don't know. It must be a mental thing. It can't be fitness because it's after like 40 minutes. It must be a mental thing that they just sort of seem to feel sorry for themselves, and it's almost like they're thinking, "Oh, it's happening again, isn't this typical?" Oh, we're going to blow it. That's for us fans. We're allowed to do that because we're not playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But these guys, I don't know. It's happening. It's happening a lot now. And this play well in the first half and not in the second half. It's very, very worrying. And I'm quite confident about the Arsenal game because we owe them. We're due a win up there. But they can't just sort of. If we get on top and then concede that goal, it's going to be. It's going to be difficult. But
that's a really good point, Brad. That's a really good point because I've noticed that a little bit. Is that when we're on top and then we concede a goal, and you feel like we deserve to be on top, and let's say like Chelsea, for instance, you can see it's almost like you can see amongst the players the heads dropping a little bit. We're going into our shells, and it shouldn't be like that. It should just be okay. Little mistake. Let's keep going. Let's keep firing at them. But you do get that little sense of like when things aren't going well, there's no real sense of don't worry, lads. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep fighting. And I got that feeling second half. We started to look a little bit shell shocked.
Do you remember like when we had Poch and we had our last season at Lane when we were blowing teams away 3-4, 5-0, we were just ruthless from the beginning, cutthroat, game over.
Yeah. And
we had the place that whereas now we seem to be the exact opposite. If we don't get a goal quickly or a couple like we did, we drop drastically. And even with 2 today against a reduced or depleted Wolves side, we did it again. It's like we do have. I think you're completely right, Brad. It's definitely a mentality thing for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They need to sort that out, because that could be really detrimental if in big games. I mean, all right, every game's a big game, but if we get to sort of quarterfinals and semi-finals and finals, they can't sort of have that attitude. I mean, hopefully they'll just. I mean, they've supposed got this psychologist in, so I don't know. It's one of those things. I thought in the second half, I couldn't believe that goalkeeper saved that Kane header. I mean, maybe Kane should have done better, but I was literally celebrating, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing, watching the dodgy live stream, was that it kept freezing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on? But I actually saw that, and I'm going, that's a goal. And he said, "What? I didn't even know what's happened. Did it go in?" But yeah, that was bizarre. It was, yeah. But I mean, to be fair, that was probably, from what I saw anyway. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That was the only chance of that second half for both teams, from what I could see.
Do you know what? There was a shot that came in, and Ruddy, it kind of like
From
Ruddy got
Ndombele.
it caught under from Ndombele, and it should have gone in, but it was just like he got lucky, he got away with it,
Yeah.
Ruddy, didn't it? And it went out for a corner. But there wasn't really. I can't remember many clear-cut chances in the second half for Spurs. Yeah.
Brian,
Sorry, go on.
Brad, sorry, I was just about to say, what was your thoughts on Brian Hill from what you saw?
From what I saw, he looks a good player, actually.
Yeah.
I think his potential is definitely there. I've said it before, he gets the ball, he moves it on quickly, which is what you need. Quick attacking football is what you need. And from what I saw tonight, yeah, he just runs around like a maniac. He's there. He defends. He looks very, very good. And when you compare him to, say, I mean, I didn't see the first half, but I presume from what I've been reading that Celso didn't do a lot and was taken off. That was another thing I saw. I'm looking at it thinking, hang on, is that Son with the ball? Sort of thing. What's Sonny doing on, sort of thing? And I'm thinking, I hope he's not on for Gil. But yeah, no, I noticed that Lo Celso wasn't playing. So, but no, I do like Brian Hill. I think he's not the finished product yet.
No.
They've got to find where they need to play him, and he's got to learn that and big Premiership games. But he does look good, I must admit. I heard about the penalty. I've actually, it's on some TV channel called Quest. Apparently, they got the highlights. So I'm recording that tonight.
Yeah, go and have a watch of that.
Yeah.
Just quickly, just a quick fire one before we go, Brad. I want to know man of the match, worst player, and if you could take any Spurs player from the past and put him into this side, who would you take?
Well, the third question's dead easy, but I'll try with the first one. From what I saw in the second half, Brian Hill. But from what I heard on your commentary in the first half, and I heard he didn't play very well in the second half, it was Tanguy and Ndombele.
Yep.
From what you guys were saying, he seemed like he was absolutely brilliant
Yeah.
in that first half. The worst player, again, I didn't see much of the game, but I'm presuming from what I've been reading, and the fact that he got dragged off, probably Lo Celso, I guess, which is very disappointing.
I don't.
And
Celso was good.
I don't remember thinking he was dreadful.
No,
I
I
have to
don't
say.
think. I can understand you think he may have been the worst of the lot, but I don't think Lo Celso was that bad.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm saying who is the worst player, so maybe there wasn't that many bad performances. But
I mean, to be honest, the half an hour or so I watched, there wasn't one player I was getting annoyed at. They all seemed to be doing okay, even if it wasn't brilliant in the second half. And the third player, who would I have from the past in my team? Well, that's really obvious, Jimmy Greaves.
You'd have Jimmy. Oh, there we go.
Okay, we're doing so Jimmy Greaves, but we're doing it as Premier League.
Oh,
weren't
from
we?
Premier League era.
So it has to be
though.
Premier League era.
Premier League era. Oh, right. Oh, now that's a big question, because I'm just thinking Kane and Greaves together. Wow. What a forward line. From the Premier League era, from the past Premier League era. Who's not playing now, I'm presuming.
Yeah, exactly. Who would you put in there?
I've gone for Rafa for me.
He's gone Rafa.
Yeah. Oh, if you're talking forwards, I was always a massive fan of Robbie Keane as a forward. Midfielders, I think someone like Modric.
Remember, this is quickfire, Brad. This is going to be a quickfire end.
Okay, Modric.
All right, he's
Okay,
gone
there
for
we go.
Modric. He's gone for Modric. All right,
There we
good
go.
shout, good shout. They would add a bit of stability in
Let's
there.
see if we
wouldn't
can put a team together with everyone.
Yeah,
that's
we can
calling
put a bit
in.
of a team,
So
yeah.
I've got Rafa.
Yeah,
Brad's
yeah,
gone Modric.
yeah.
You've gone.
I don't know. I think you've probably got to put Prime Bale in there.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is a tasty team looking at.
Yeah, yeah.
Good call. Good call.
All right, Brad. Cheers to the call, mate.
No problems,
And
guys.
we'll see you on first next time, I'm sure.
See you later on, Brad.
Yeah, well, if I don't go to the pub on Sunday, I'll probably catch up with you on Sunday.
Fantastic.
Sounds good to us.
All right.
Yeah,
All right,
guys,
my man.
bye.
See you later,
Take care.
buddy.
See you, mate.
I think that's what we're going to have to
That's
do.
fun, isn't
Everyone's
it?
got to call in and say a different person to make the team up.
A different person.
Yeah, so we can try and make a winning team.
So we need 11 people.
Yeah.
So
we can do it roughly.
We've got 3 then.
We've got 3. So we've got
3. All right.
We've
okay,
got Bale,
3.
Rafa, and Modric as a
Yeah.
start.
All right. Okay. And then we'll say, oh, well, look we got on here. I know what I know what Ben's going to go for. It's going to be Ginola, isn't it?
I have to say,
let's bring them on.
Do you know how weird it feels? Like I'm in the studio,
Yeah.
and then
Ben, what's it feel like to be on the outside and seeing Brian here?
Brian, I hope you're keeping my seat warm, mate.
I am, mate. I'm keeping it very, very warm, mate. Loving the seat,
mate. We've had such a laugh in here. We're even thinking we might just do a lock-in.
Yeah.
I don't blame you guys doing an absolutely stellar job. So you can keep going. Don't worry about us.
What was it like today, Ben? What was the atmosphere like?
Yeah, atmosphere was good. I mean, the fans were in full voice at times. I mean, when it went to 2-2, it was very, very nervy in the away end, and the Wolves fans were really up for it. I mean, it was rocking in that stadium when it got to 2-2. But when we were 2-0 up, I mean, Spurs fans were absolutely loving it. And obviously, we were playing such good football in that first half when we were 2-0 up. Ndombele, I mean, some of the stuff he was doing on the ball today, unbelievable. Yeah. Brian Hill, I thought he was really good today. The energy that he brought to the team was sensational. And Ollie Skip as well.
Yes.
He grew and grew into that game, and the amount of times he stopped Adama Traore in his tracks was unbelievable.
Ben, do you know what I was saying? I think as Ndombele got weaker, Skip got stronger.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think they fully complemented each other as that was going on.
Here as well, by the way.
Hey, keep your eyes on the road, mate.
I'm trying. Shame Spurs can't keep their eyes on the ball today.
What do you think about Romero, though, Ben? Because obviously you and me were rating him against Chelsea in the first half. I think it weren't his best performance, was it?
Sorry, you say it wasn't or it was?
Wasn't. He looked very ropey today.
Second half, though.
Yeah, second half.
Yeah, it's so funny with Ndombele. Like, there are times to say
Romero.
But also Ndombele tied as well, though, Simi. That was also true about Ndombele.
I think Romero first half, I thought it was brilliant. I thought his passing as well. He played some lovely over the top balls to Harry Kane and to Heung-min Son. But then obviously the second goal he could have done a bit better with, couldn't he? He could have got out that pass, which he didn't manage to do. But I think Romero, look, with time he'll get better. But I think he, in his first early displays, I think he played quite well, actually. I think he was aggressive. He was getting in front of the Wolves striker a number of times. I actually think he did a decent job.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think with Romero, I mean, there were some flaws in his game today, but I think there are signs there that you can see that he is going to be a top defender for us. I really believe that. And
what about Reguilon taking a penalty? What a blinding penalty as well.
Absolutely. Bloody hell, what a penalty that was from Reguilon. What about the Hill?
Oh no, we're telling everyone to watch the highlights just for Hill.
The hop, skip and a jump. The Jorginho move out the side because there's a new penalty taker in town.
And also not just that, but the fact he's a young kid. There's a lot of pressure on him in that penalty shootout, in the business end of the penalty shootout as well. For him to step up
you can put the Arsenal boys on penalty. Bukayo Saka didn't do the same, did he?
Yeah, but what do you think in the set? Brian Hill was getting the better of Adama Traore. I think we found the person to stop him.
Brian Hill was brilliant today. I must say, I was so impressed with his non-stop running, his non-stop energy. Even late in the game, there were times where he looked tired, but he looked like he was running through it. He was like running through the paint barrier, and I felt like he was creative. There were times where he was muscled off the ball, but he found different ways to kind of get past his man. I was very, very impressed with Brian Hill, and obviously the composure he had for that penalty defied his years, really, how old he was. I was very happy for him, and I thought as well, when Adama came on, a few times he was making tackles, tracking back, doing the dirty work, so he showed that he's more than just a flair player. There's a lot more to his game, and I was so proud of Brian Hill tonight.
He showed some proper grit tonight.
Yeah,
that's the exact word.
Tonight.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And what I want to say is that we've been through the mills as Spurs fans many a time, many a year. But that penalty shootout was that not the easiest penalty shootout we've ever had in our history?
I think.
Well, we did miss a penalty there, though, didn't we? We didn't miss one against Chelsea last year, did we?
No, that's true.
Right.
That's true. But it was against Chelsea. I bet the nerves were still there. But Pierre's made the first mistake in his life, so we're going to forgive him that one.
There were beautiful penalties. Apart from Pierre's, there were beautiful penalties.
Brian, as Pierre was running back after his penalty miss, I was singing his song.
Play. Did he get allowed a response when we tried to on Chelsea?
No.
We're gonna have to work on that. We're gonna have to work on that.
I want to know what John thought on Harry Kane today.
Yes. Oh, do you know what I was going to say? I thought he had an excellent first half. I thought he was very involved. I thought he was very influential. I thought in that first half. I thought he was almost at the fulcrum of a lot of our moves. You know, second half he wasn't quite as effective. But I do think he had a good overall. I would say he had a 7 out of 10 performance. I would say for Harry Kane. I thought it was a good performance. I thought he took his goal.
I agree.
He took his.
Ndombele, in the second half. Like there are times where, like in that second half, where he's tracking back and he looked like he did a Zimmer frame. Like, he's, like,
I know.
And like he can't keep up. And then literally 2 minutes later, he's in the final third. He's doing these quick feet and he's like in the penalty box. He looks like he can play for like another hour, and it's just so funny.
He's such an enigma.
You can't figure him out.
I know. He's such an enigma. You can't figure him out. Like 1 minute he's almost. What did you guys think? It was almost like he was given a free roll today. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I mean, he was everywhere. Him and I was about to say him and Brian Hill.
Yeah.
Him and Brian Hill were literally everywhere today. But Ndombele, he's just so good in moments and then just so bad in other moments.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Even in the first half when he was unbelievable, he showed some shocking moments in that first half as well, like tracking back and the defensive side of his game. And he really needs to improve. Or he just needs to stick to an attacking role or something.
I want to know. I haven't seen a replay of the second goal, but Ndombele was complaining about a foul. Was there any foul in there, or was it definitely just his fault?
It looked as though he just gave the ball away. It looks like he just slipped over. To me, it didn't look like he was fouled.
And then it was a little bit of ping pong, Sim. It just kind of, there was a couple of deflections that took it through, and then obviously they were through 1-on-1, and then it got to Romero, who should have cut it out, like you said. But yeah, I don't think it was I don't really think you can blame Ndombele for it. The first goal, maybe.
Yeah, maybe because he didn't judge. Do you know what? Did you not think that first Wolves goal was a carbon copy of the Thiago Silva goal? It was like almost identical, wasn't it? Absolutely identical.
It was never a corner, right? It was never a corner.
I can't remember.
It didn't look like, from our point of view, it looked like from where we were sitting.
Was it Ndombele's man from the corner? Because I couldn't see it, but I'm seeing a few people on Twitter saying it.
Well, he leapt above Ndombele. Whether or not Ndombele should have been in that position is a different story.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, if he was on the edge of the area and that ball gets scored, no one would have questioned him. But the fact he got in there to muck in, he's now going to have a question mark over his head, which is a bit of a shame.
It's the same. It's exactly what you're right. Same against Chelsea, Thiago Silva. Why the hell is Dele Alli supposed to be marking Thiago Silva?
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
I like Dele today. A lot of people praising him. I didn't think that was anything special, except for a great through ball in the first half. I didn't see too much of him apart from that. But what do you think? I didn't really see too many
do you know what? He is so divides opinions so much. We came up with a new halftime feature. It's called The Dilemma. And it's like we ask in the comments section, are they frozen? Wasn't it?
We'll just talk
what do you think? We'll just talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
Whether or not Dele had a good game or a bad game. Because it's so much like, some people say, what a baller, what a great player. And then some people saying, dreadful, get rid. It's like, how can one person's performance be so polarising?
How can we have two more?
How can he be so polarising in one game? It's in one half of a game. So
because he's a Spurs player.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because he's a Spurs player. Dele played better. But
do you think better?
Better than, if I do it from game and look at it against Chelsea, this was an improvement.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it was an easier game as well, you'd have to say. So it makes him look better as well. So it's a difficult one. He's still a little bit up for grabs, I'd say, his position, Dele. But I think that we lost them in the end. I don't know whether they drove under a tunnel or something there, but we might come back to them a bit later on. But shall we get another caller on?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Mason,
he's
one of our own.
How are we, boys? How are we?
How are we doing, Mason? You all right? Where are you calling from, my son?
I am calling from Sydney, Australia.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. What time is it over there, Mason, right now?
It is. It's 8 o'clock. It's not too bad. I actually didn't plan on waking up for this game, but my bladder really wanted to watch the Spurs.
That is the best excuse I've had.
I haven't spoken to any Aussie Spurs fans yet, so it's good.
You've got me now, so
brilliant.
Make use of it.
All right, there we go. All right, so what did you think of the game? Let's just start off with the obvious.
I mean, coming away with a win when we really needed it is, you can't complain about that. I thought there was lots of promise in the game. I it just felt for me like, and I think what Nuno said in the press conference the other day kind of rings true, is that the team is working things out on the field, and you can really see that. You know, the passes don't seem to be hitting their intended target enough. You know, there's lots of, you know, flashes from Ndombele where he'll, you know, beat 12 men somehow, and then the pass just kind of ends up in no man's land.
Yep.
I thought that Brian Hill looks great.
Yep.
He just, you can tell that he's young and he wants it so bad, and I think that's really good. Like, you know, after a couple of poor set pieces, which I think is our biggest weakness at the moment, is defending set pieces. Somehow he was already at the other end of the pitch, which is amazing. You know, much better than you can say for some of the other gents who just had their heads down in the box. I think Ndombele needs to be groomed as a number 9.
Number 9.
I think that they should just start, you know, beefing him up even more and just sticking him in that front third, because it doesn't look like he wants to get as involved in the back 2/3 of play. You know, and in set pieces, he should stand on the sideline when defending set pieces.
Do you know what,
go out and have some oranges.
Yeah, do you know what?
Yeah,
do you know who used to do it? Do you know who used to be like, they kept away with it? But with what May said, we were talking about before, we need to create a free role for him, because we know he's not going to defend.
That's what he did today.
Kept mentioning it with Van der Vaart and Ginola. Yeah. They never used to defend. They just used to get back in shape, make sure we had 2 banks of 4 like we did back then, or whatever we're playing. But then as soon as we get the ball, they come alive. And I think that's something. If someone had told me at the beginning of the week, Tanguy would play three games, and this one 90 minutes. I can't remember how long he played against Rennes. He played a long way into that. And he was our most creative. Well, that's not hard, but I mean, he was positive in all 3 after not playing since before Mourinho. I'd have bit your hand.
He's turned it around in a week, hasn't he?
Exactly.
I would say,
exactly.
Yeah, and he's not just that. He's gone to becoming our best player almost.
Yeah.
You know, in a week. So I mean, you got to give the guy credit as much as he's
credit for him, or just what the state of affairs.
Or the state of affairs we're in. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the potential for Ndombele and Dele Alli to kind of really find, you know, some cohesion with each other and form like quite a, you know, potentially dangerous offensive midfield kind of setup?
Well, that's kind of what we've got at the moment, isn't it?
That's like my dream.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dele Alli's a little bit wasted in the fact that he's like being asked to do a lot of the legwork, sort of going back and doing the defending and stuff like that. That's not his game, is it? But he is. I think he's rebranding himself to become that player.
I actually thought it, like from the Palace game, the first 15-20 minutes of Dele Alli was like stellar. That he was the most mentioned player from a commentary point of view, because he just seemed to be touching the ball everywhere. So I think I can. I know that everyone's really down on Dele, but if he can kind of maintain that level of performance and really become someone who wants to play box to box, I just see him putting his head down way too much now, and just kind of kicking the turf, and he doesn't seem to be as excited as he used to be.
Do you think? I disagree. I actually think that this season we're actually seeing a completely different level of commitment and dedication from Dele Alli. I think there's still going to be question marks over his overall output, but I actually think that the couple of years previous, I think he's believed in his own hype too much.
Yep.
I think he was riding off the Playboy image a little bit too much.
Yep.
And I think he's realised is that he's got everything he needs, and you're not going to go back to being that player that you were under Poch. And I think he's had to pull up his socks and go, do you know what? I'm actually going to go back to just working hard, training hard, and actually just being a hard, tackling midfielder, trying to get stuck in, shall I say. Yep. He's never going to be like a skip type.
He still had time to dye one of his dreads purple, though.
Oh, did he? Yeah, that's true, yeah. Too much time.
Exactly, Mason. Yeah. The thing is with him as well, I think what we've got to do is he's not going to get back to where he was, like in that role.
Yeah.
And if you look at it now, he's got people like Grealish, Foden and everyone, I think above him in England. So It's not like he's got an easy run back into the England squad. So I think what we've got to do is identify a position that he's, whether it's going to be this midfield engine, and we just use him there and stick him there so he gets regular football and gets to learn the role, or we push him forward again and say, right, this is what you're going to do. But I don't think, and I don't mean, how can I say this without sounding really bad? I don't think he's got the footballing brain to be a master of both positions. We've got to get one position for him, identify it, and just use him there. That's what I think we've got to do with Daddy personally.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed for sure. I think the biggest, like, every time that we go up against a set piece, a corner, a free kick this season, I'm gonna just have my eyes closed. Yeah. Because there's no leadership. Like Brian, the first corner, Brian Hill is bouncing around the 18-yard box trying to figure out where he's meant to be, and no one's telling him where he needs to go, which is another reason why Højbjerg needs to be captain. But yeah, I just think that I'm glad they're working. I hope they're working as hard as they say they are on the training pitch, and I think that they should just bang corners in for 3 days a week. And try figure that out.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, there's lots of good stuff to take away from the game. I will say though, I watched the Brentford game against Norwich, against Wolves. Sorry, and Brentford just made Wolves look like, that it was their first time playing football, and I don't think that we looked nearly as convincing as Brentford did against them. Understanding that that was obviously their first, a full first string team for them. I worry about us playing other teams like a Brentford that have something to prove and that have the grit to play at 100% for 90 minutes, whereas we seem to have 50 good minutes, and then. That lack of guile is really what's letting us down, I think.
No, it's funny, isn't it? That we tend to play in waves, don't we? We'll have a good spell, and then we'll just completely drop off. Heads go down a little bit, and then we're kind of going very deep, playing very deep, and it's a bit worrying, isn't it? And you find like where's the next where's the second wave coming from? Yep. And I kind of worried about that in that Wolves. It's like where's the next second wave going to come where we can actually get on the front foot and start putting pressure on them? I
think what's going to happen now as well, the players are starting to come back. Obviously, I don't know how long Moore is out for. Yeah. But we've got to look, and not only has Nuno not had the whole time that he should have got, but he hasn't had a full week with the full team, of course, doing training. So I think that, and what worries me is just probably as we get into that kind of routine, there's another international break. And it's like, oh, here we go, we stop and start. So I think once we've got a fully fit, a squad, and he gets them regularly, then I think we may see some changes. And then we may see some improvements, like on the attacking play, we may be more cutthroat and more ruthless. But Nuno just hasn't had a chance to work with the whole team he wants to at any given time. So I think that's got to be taken into consideration with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mason, before you go, mate, we're doing this with everyone that comes on. You got to say, man of the match. Did you watch the game today? You watched it all, didn't you?
Yeah. I watched it all. Yeah.
All right. So, man of the match, weakest link, and if you could take any Spurs player from the past and put it in this team, who would it be? Yeah,
but we've got our team. We're formulating the team. So far, we've got Bale, Van der Vaart and Modric. We're going to try and create a Tottenham. We Are Tottenham TV fan favourite 11.
Okay. So for number 3, I think probably, but maybe no one else will chuck him in the team. But I think Gascoigne can get on for a run.
He wasn't Premier League.
It's got to be Premier League.
It's got to be Premier
League. He was just before Premier League.
Yeah, 1 year before. I would have picked Gaza. We both would have picked Gaza.
No, we would have both picked Gaza, but
we'd have 11 Gazas
after 92, isn't it?
Can we have all 3 iterations of Gareth Bale? Because I'll take 1.0.
Do you know? I really like the 1.0 version as well, on the wing.
Yeah. So we've got the left back and the left winger.
If we play Gareth Bale at left and right wing, we can just have 1.0 on one side, 3.0 on the other side.
There we go. We'll take that.
Yeah.
I think the worst player of the game was a trio, and that's the Croatian sensations, as I've dubbed them. I think they can go back to Croatia and spend some more time with the sports scientists.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think Romero was good. You can obviously see that he's still kind of finding his feet. Lo Celso was just a letdown again, and Sanchez was pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like especially someone like Sanchez should he'll be aware of all of the negative commentary about that whole debacle. He needs to come back and fucking prove that he's in this that he deserves to be there.
Right. And best player?
There's competition. Ndombele, just for showing us that he deserves to be on the field.
Yeah.
Great shout.
Yeah.
Good man. All right. Nice one, Mason. You can go
Mason,
you can go back to bed now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice one. Great to speak to you, mate. And by the way, just quickly, any Spurs pubs there in Sydney?
Nah, absolutely not.
Maybe we can start one off for you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Brian, you can come. You can come over and start another invasion in another country, and we'll sort it out.
There we go.
Yeah, why not? I'll just go around and educate the masses on Levy, and just we'll all invade together.
Christopher Columbus.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right.
Why not? I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right, Mason.
See you soon.
See you later,
mate.
Mason.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Top man.
That's the first Aussie caller we've had. Well, I've had anyway. Yeah,
there we
nice
go.
to see.
Mate, I'm here for your first win.
Across the world.
Your first goal.
Like it.
What a great performance.
Absolutely
What
brilliant.
a great day.
They're not really getting the quickfire aspect of the quickfire round, are they? We'll have to make sure we'll get that right on the next one. Let's get the next callers in, shall we? So we have Jack and friend.
Dad.
Jack and Dad.
How are we doing, Jack and friend?
Oh, loving that kit, Dad. I remember that kit.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah.
How are we doing, guys? What would you like to say today?
Go on, Dad. You go first.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
I think Ndombele is very hot and cold. Very, very hot and cold.
Yeah.
In the clips I see, 1 minute he was dancing forward like he was Maradona, and then next time he was defending like he had cement in his shoes.
Yeah. I mean, he's
just like very hot and cold.
He's hot and cold, isn't
brilliant.
he?
Yeah. Very, very hot and cold.
On the ball, he's a 10 out of 10. Off the ball, he's a 1 or 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
but that's what you're going to get with him, isn't it?
Do you know
Yeah, what was he trying to do with that corner?
He should, for me, he shouldn't even be placed there, but he was there. But the main thing we've got to do and think of is why is he hot and cold? We've got to find a reason. Like I personally think it's a mental block.
It's only his first week back though, as well. Remember?
Yes, remember that it's his first week back. But I think there's something mentally. I don't think it's a physical thing. We know he only, but I think if we can unlock the mental block in there, or if there. I think that may unlock everything to get 90 minutes out of him. Everything. I think it really is, because like you said, Jack, that he on the ball at times, he is just like edge of your seat. Okay,
exactly.
Just dream the impossible. It's going to happen.
Dream the impossible. Let me ask you, Jack. Jack, would you still take Ndombele for 45 minutes with what you saw in that first half, even if he does get tired and he sort of looks a bit weak off the ball? Would you still take that?
I reckon 50.
Oh, you want an extra 5 minutes? Oh.
But this is the thing. I often say, do you reckon it's better having him from the start and do damage and then going off,
bringing him on
when players are tired?
Bringing him on.
There we go. But it's a hard one because then you think, right, the Celso.
I'll start him.
I would start him.
There we go.
We've
got a conflict here. Got a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
But I sometimes think he could do a lot more damage coming off when players are tired and he's razor sharp.
I agree with you.
We need a poll.
There you go, that magical
Vinny,
word.
Sort the polls.
But you know,
no.
I mean, like obviously he comes on and does what he did in the first half. Like we looked incredible, but then
Then he tires.
Sleep.
Yeah.
But then if you brought him on,
but we were 2-0 up, so you could have taken him off at that point.
And he actually would have been 1-0 up because he wouldn't have scored.
But that's true. Yeah.
But no,
in the formation that Nuno likes, do you think there's room for Ali and Ndombele?
Do you know what? I said this a couple of weeks ago. I actually think that Dele's position's up for grabs, and I actually think there could be competition with Ndombele and Dele Alli as well. I think there's a lot of I think there's a lot of play. I actually think you could actually have competition for that place as well.
I'm going to agree with you again.
Yeah,
but Ali can play 90 minutes. Ndombele can't.
Yeah, that's why you can switch them around during the 90 minutes.
But then you look at it, Jack. What Dembele does in 40 minutes or 45 minutes, sometimes Dele Alli doesn't do in 90.
Or more.
Or more, yeah. Or
maybe,
more.
Yeah.
Because like we said, seeing the running stats are great. But I can run around here and do 11 kilometres. It doesn't mean I've had a great game. So it's hard, but I think that you're right. There could be a genuine competition with them two going for one place.
Yeah.
I disagree with the last caller who said a number 9. He should be a number 10.
Yeah. I think that's what he meant. I think
he probably meant that.
Yeah,
although he
Harry
did say
Kane
keep
plays
him up
in number
front.
10, so he probably wanted to say.
I think that's what he probably meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's very influential, just tucked in behind, isn't he?
I think he's
threading passes and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Any other comments, guys?
I'll tell you another player. Who I like is Brian Hill. He's sensational.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, let me ask you this. Quick fire.
He's a new Johan Cruyff.
Oh,
yes,
that's a bold
no, he's a mini Cruyff.
Oh God, yeah,
no, he's a mini Cruyff.
That's a bold statement.
He plays a lot like Cruyff.
But to say that name after like 3 or 4, I can see. But that's a bold statement.
It's not just. It's not saying he's as good as Cruyff. He's saying he plays like Cruyff. If you watch some highlights.
Okay, you're not saying he's going to get to Johan Cruyff. You're saying his style.
No, but his style. You talk about his style because I see a lot of Cruyff in the in like the artistry and the expression, don't you?
I see the style, but I mean, Jack seems to think we're going to win the league. So he's living on.
Oh, Jack!
Oh, Jack! You had to let your team down there, didn't you? Letting the team down with that one. Right, we're going to finish off with a quick fire, right, guys? So remember, this is quick fire.
Yeah.
Right, best player, weakest link, and any Spurs player from the past to go into this team
for the Premier League era.
From the Premier League era.
Best player tonight.
Yeah.
Best player tonight, I'd say Hill.
Yeah.
Weakest link, I just can't have Davinson Sanchez.
He's gone for Davinson.
I think he's just got a mistake in him all the time.
Yeah.
There was one point on the left where he just went diving in for a tackle, and I don't know what he was trying to do.
He got done a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah, he did today.
All
today
right.
he did.
Yeah.
And this is the important bit. Which player goes into our 11 from the past?
For me, considering we're so weak defensively, it'll have to be someone like a fully fit Ledley King.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
The defence is taking shape already.
Ledley has to go straight in. Yeah, brilliant.
What about you, Jack?
I go with best player Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Weakest link, the Celso.
Okay.
And into our team.
Come on, get one in the team.
Carl Walker.
Nice.
Oh, I'm loving this team.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm loving this team.
Great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Our best
right back. One of our best centre back,
our
best centre back in the Premiership here.
Best right back. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For me, it was a toss up between Ledley King and Michael Dawson.
Oh mate, I would have had gone. It would be Ledley King or Jan Vertonghen for me.
Yeah, I like Dawson because I've just seen the thing. He seemed to edit everything.
Yeah, this is true. He put his body on the line every time. Like
Ledley, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Ledley King for me.
There we go.
All right, so we got Ledley and Carl Walker at right back. Yeah.
There we got Gareth Bale 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. Van der Vaart, Modric, and.
They didn't say they cut out. Ben and Sim cut out, but I know what Ben would have chosen. He would have chosen Ginola.
Okay, so we're gonna have to fit.
I know, we'll have to find a way of fitting that.
We might drop Bale to left back.
Yeah, we'll put him on the right or something.
There we go.
Fantastic. Well done, guys.
What you're putting in there?
We don't know yet. That's going to have to be.
That's what we've got to wait and find out.
Wait and find out who comes on.
We're running out of positions now.
Yeah.
All
right, guys. Cheers for that.
Have a great evening, guys.
Have a great one. See you later on.
Bye.
Alrighty. Let's get. Adam William Cahill. He had a great call. Had a great debut with me last week. So let's see what he has to say. Adam, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, man. You're well. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you've got much more of a smile on your face this week.
Yeah. You can imagine why. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, we could have. It would have been much better to put it to bed, before a penalty shootout. But that was one heck of a penalty shootout. So pretty happy.
Yeah. Do you know what, Adam? You gave a really good overview last time. Can you just give us a quick, 30-second overview of how you saw that game? How did that game go? And sort of why did you think we lost sort of control of that? And just basically your overall thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, to be fair, because I mean we started off incredibly well. I think that the the reason that it was so pleasurable to watch it at the beginning, as well as being successful, is because we were in possession all the time, and that's when Spurs play best. We're not the kind of team like Chelsea where we'll sit back and then we'll allow the other team to attack us, and then when we get possession, then we take it to them on the break. That's not really our style. We always play best when we have control of the ball, and it's the football that I like to see. I can't stand watching the kind of catch them on the break style of football. It's control the ball. I couldn't stand last season watching Mourinho do the whole whoever has the ball has fear bullshit, because that's just not it's not brave. It's not brave at all. And so in the first half, we were definitely dominating by the virtue of the fact that we were keeping possession, and then Ndombele showing exactly what he's capable of doing for us. Is we don't have that many players who can bring the ball through the midfield, but nobody does it like him. No one, and he showed that today, and that's the reason why we started off so successfully. Unfortunately, second half, it's yet again an example of how Spurs at the moment, and this is carrying on from last season, don't know how to kill a game off. And we can't even say not a thing. Even though. So far now, it's 4 wins out of 6. In any of the games, you can't say we know how to kill a game off, because the first 3 games were a 1-0 victory. That's not killing it off. Do you know what I mean? So yes, fantastic, we won those games, but it's not killing the game off. And then, we're in this situation now. Rennes as well. I forgot about the Rennes match. In the Conference League. So there's not a single one of those games where we came out on top, where we put the game to bed, and that's something we're really, really struggling with, and we've been struggling with for a long time. And I maybe is that the hangover from the fitness thing from Mourinho? I don't know, but that's the real issue we have at the moment.
Adam, here's a question: why do you think it is that our heads? It looks to me like the heads drop a little bit. We're getting on top. We're playing with a lot of mojo, let's say. A lot of but then what happens is, as soon as we concede a goal, it almost seems that it drains the whole confidence out of the team, and it's almost like there's no leadership at that point. It's almost like they look a little bit shell shocked. I don't know if you see it that same way. And what's the remedy for that?
To be honest, I think part of it is I think maybe there's a possibility that in this game, Lloris wasn't there. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I love Lloris as a keeper. I love him as a he's been with Spurs for quite a long time now. But I never really saw him as a very strong leader, to be perfectly honest with you. And then Harry Kane as the vice captain, and today was wearing the band. He's not really a leader either, to be honest. He's kind of doing his own thing. There were plenty of times on the pitch today where a leader was needed to talk to, especially some of the young guys who are absolutely amazing, by the way. I'm so hopeful for the future of Spurs, because when you look at the likes of Reguilon and Tanganga, Skip, Hill, those guys are our future. I mean, that fills me with so much positivity. If you're talking about a rebuild, no matter what ends up happening by the end of this season, if we have all of those guys playing for Spurs and Højbjerg as our captain, we will end up having a lethal team, especially if we do end up selling Kane and we use the Kane money to get another centre back. Because to be fair, Sanchez didn't he'd be my first choice over Dyer, but it needs to be Romero and somebody else next season, to be honest. And we need another possibly another an attacking midfielder and then a second striker. I think eventually as well, Son will probably replace Kane as the striker up front. So I think the future looks absolutely fantastic, but at the moment, I think it's true. If you were to give the armband to Højbjerg now, you'd see at least 10% of an improvement, just because he would.
I agree. He is just built to be the captain.
Do you know what?
Absolutely. Could you envisage a better look like captain embodiment?
I was just about to say, do you know what? If you did a poll, or if the whole Spurs fan community came together and said, right, who should be Spurs' next captain? I would be amazed if it was at 99.99%.
No, not next, Højbjerg. Brian. Now.
I think
if we ask Spurs fans now, who do you want to see as captain? I think 80% would say Højbjerg.
I think it'd be more than that. I honestly think. I honestly do. But the thing is, why I say next is because you can't drop Lloris as captain. morale would just be, and late on it would be so disrespectful. You can't do it to Kane, although I feel we should because of his attitude, the way he's been. But if we drop Harry Kane, that's the England captain. That's that sets the wheels in motion for a transfer again. But without a doubt,
going forward though,
without a doubt, I mean, I was raging when Harry Kane went off against Rennes, and I was like, what world do we live in where he went and gave the armband to Ben Davies rather than Højbjerg? Yeah. I was like, what the hell is going on there?
That's right, he did, didn't he?
I was like, what world are we living in where...
Yeah, he probably just couldn't be bothered to go to the other end of the pitch to give it to him.
Because without a doubt, I mean, Adam, what you just said is brilliant.
Yeah,
Højbjerg leading the troops.
I think that's a popular opinion, actually.
It's the probably most popular opinion you'll ever get right now, because when he comes on, and I got to see, for the first time, Adam, I got to see him live at Chelsea, his attitude on the pitch, even his run onto the pitch, he looks like he's ready for war. Yeah. And it's not just his... it's not just the football, it's everything else that comes with him.
Yeah.
It's just at such a high standard that it's just, he has to be the next captain.
Do you know what? I'm going to say something controversial here.
Oh, Jesus.
I almost feel as though he could almost be our most important player.
Mate, I'm with you.
I think at the moment, I think he's our most important player, Højbjerg.
Him and Son, basically.
Yeah.
I would go as far.
I know that's a little bit controversial, but I actually think Pierre does so much that almost goes a little bit unnoticed as well on the field.
Yep.
He just keeps things stable, keeps things going. He's not like an extravagant player, so he doesn't really get the headlines, but he does so much groundwork during a game that
it's unbelievable.
I think for that reason he's very, very important. But Adam, quick fire. So you can say 3 words. Only 3 words only. Best player.
Can I say 2 things really quickly before we get onto that?
Go on.
The first one is that I got to hold your feet over the fire here for a second, because during the live stream you were saying that you were really worried about going into penalties because we've got a bad record against penalties, but you're forgetting even just last season in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, the Chelsea. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, but the problem
really
is no, it's a good point, but you'll notice if you look through the history of Spurs, the penalty shootouts that we win are always generally in the first round, second round of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, let's say. But all the penalty shootouts that we miss are in the important part of the competition. Yep. Semi-finals. When was the last time we won a penalty shootout in the quarter-finals, semi-finals? You've actually got to go back all the way to 1984 to see us win an important penalty shootout, believe it or not. So it's a good point, but that really, we only win penalty shootouts when they don't really matter that much, I would say. Like first round of League Cups. Yeah.
Looking at the current team, when we went into the penalty shootout today, I was very confident, to be honest. I was very confident.
Yeah.
And just the other thing I wanted to say, guys, was that today was the first time we saw the team in the purple strip, and to be honest, I don't like it on the hanger. But watching the lads play in purple, I think that between that jersey and this one right here, I think we are the slickest fucking team that you're ever going to see.
Adam, I have to say, the shirt you've got, when it first came out, I did a video with Ben, and I said it's absolutely hideous, and I forgot I was wearing a tie-dye shirt. And I was like, oh my God, who am I to talk? But that shirt that you're wearing has really grown on me. I won't buy anything because I'm not spending any money because of Levy, but
it does look a little bit like the seat covers that you get on like the coaches, doesn't it?
The double-decker, but I've seen
it does.
But that one has grown on me. The third one, I just don't think it will. That one, I don't think it will.
No, but I know what he's saying though. When you're watching the game, the purple did look kind of nice.
It reminded me of the purple shirt we had when we were Under Armour or Puma. So I know what you mean, but So
Adam,
now the quick fire.
Here's the quick fire.
Quick fire.
Are you ready, Adam? Right.
Yes.
Best player, weakest link, player from the past to fit into our 11 from the Premier League era.
Player
today. Best player today. Hill. Weakest link.
Weakest link. Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah. Player from the past.
Player from the past. Brian, just for you, because it's my first time meeting you, I'm going to go with Super Jan.
Yes.
My man.
Is that your favourite? So you love Jan?
He's my second favourite after Gaza.
Really?
Are
you serious?
Yeah, Vertonghen. Apart from Gaza, I'm not a freak. I just like I said, Gaza's on a pedestal that will never, ever.
But Jan does something to you.
He does. He does. So no, I mean, but I like those.
We need another defender.
Look, we got Walker, King, Vertonghen. This is a dynamite. If only we could go back in time and just.
Gosh, I know,
can you imagine this team? Adam, thank you.
Great
for that,
call, mate. As always, Adam. Come back on next time, yeah.
Absolutely.
See you soon, buddy.
Come on, you Spurs. Gave him a little salute there.
He's
got good comments, Adam. I like Adam.
There's great comments.
How's our team looking now? So we've got.
So, From what I remember, we've got Walker.
Yeah.
We have
King
of Vertonghen, and I think we're gonna have to drop Gareth Bale from the left wing.
No, we got no.
We're gonna have to put him there so we can fit Ginola from Ben.
Do you want left wing? Do you want Ginola and left wing back? Sorry, do you want Bale as left wing back?
Yeah.
He was still good at left wing back even.
Then we got Ginola.
Yeah. And Modric.
Van der Vaart.
Okay.
And Gareth Bale on the right wing. We just need 2 strikers now.
No, do you want Gareth Bale on the right wing, or do you want him
tucked
in behind the strikers?
Bale 1 and Gareth Bale 3.
Can you have Van der Vaart tucked in behind the strikers?
We can do that.
And then we have Bale on the right.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we need a striker, or 2 strikers if we're doing 4-4-2,
and a left back.
And a keeper. No, we've got a keeper. We've got Bale left back.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keeper, 2 strikers.
Keeper and 2 strikers, and then we've got the dream team assembled.
Okay, all right, brilliant. All right, we got no more calls. No, we do.
Oh, we got
yes. Oh, and we got a super chat. Pause, because I missed the super chat. Jack, you're gonna have to wait, my friend, because I missed the super chat before, and I got digs for it. I'm looking through, and I can't see the super chat. Huh? Jerome, where are you, Jerome? Where's your super chat? Oh, here I can see it now. Jerome, there I can see you now. Right, super chat. I don't understand how putting Adama Traore on just unbalance our whole game. We suddenly looked out of gas, which was the exact copy against Chelsea. Did you understand that?
Well, no, it's like all I can say is like when Chelsea brought on Kante at half time, and literally it changed the game with 1 sub.
Sorry, I just said it. I said it with the wrong kind of intonation. I don't understand how putting Adam Traore on. You need a comma there, Jerome. Just imbalanced our whole game. We suddenly looked out of gas, which was the exact copy against Chelsea.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, like I said, with Kante coming on, literally, I was sitting next to Simeon, and Simeon just went, "Uh-oh." Yeah, and I was like, I didn't even realise Kante weren't even playing. I was just so taken aback by the stadium. Yeah. And within 7 minutes, we were 2-0 down. And Johnson & Johnson's baby oil came on. And within about 15 minutes, the same had happened.
Causing problems. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Let's get Jack on now. I haven't spoken to Jack on here for a while. How you doing, mate? With a flat cap army?
I mean, it's a bit embarrassing that I lost my voice a lot for this match, considering it's only a Carabao Cup match, boys. Especially only, what is it, round 3? I mean, I don't even know. It's a bit pathetic, but that's the life of a Spurs fan at this rate.
Jack, how come you've got half a moustache?
You know what it is, actually? Long story short, I actually appreciate it. It is a bit of a half mustache. I struggle to grow it in this area, which for most people is quite easy, which is a bit embarrassing. And then also, I am a bit overdue because I said if we lost to Chelsea, I would have to shave and just start all over with my very microscopic, very non-existent microscopic beard that I had before.
You put in half. You put half a first half display in on the
running out of aftershave. That and it's a bit of a shit show. Apologies for even.
It's all right. It's all right, mate.
There, so I would say, it's a bit of a work in progress. Hopefully, you can deal with it.
Jack, give us your one of your insightful analyses of that of that game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it might be a bit lack thereof. All I can say is that maybe it's a bit of lessons learned in terms of certain players. All I can say is this becoming a thing, kind of like Jose's past, where we're just practically one of the best teams, in British, even world football, it seems like, in the first halves, and then we just absolutely capitulate, and then the second halves, and. If you ask me, it seems like we've even learned our lesson. With as much as I love Tanguy as well, I would say Tanguy is somebody that we're probably struggling to find places for in that number 8, number 6 position. You might say he just really has struggled with it. It seems like he's almost does too. As much as I love the guy, he does too many step overs, too many feints, too many things. It practically took 7 touches, in that part where Hwang Hee-chan took it off of him. So I would say. Maybe for the London Derby match, a lesson learned for me would be put probably Skippy, Højbjerg, and then put Tanguy in front of them. Maybe for me, a bit of I don't think it's that insightful, but I think maybe we're learning as much as Tanguy hurt us, this match and made, the blood pressure rise a bit for us. I would say he's someone that I would absolutely still put at that number 10. I think he still proved himself in that regard, but maybe you guys might disagree, and I would definitely probably see where you're coming from, but it seems like he's still proving himself as the most creative of our midfielders. He's just a bit of a liability.
Do you know what we were saying? It's like he's so good on the ball end on Bailey that we just give him a free roll.
Yeah.
Like as long as you got the cover for him.
Why does he play the number 6? Maybe it's his own fault that he even advocates for himself in that regard.
I think the fact, Jack, as well, that he's had 4 managers that have had different ideas on where to play him.
Has 4?
He's had Podge,
Oh yeah, of course, Pot. I forgot Poch. You know,
Jose, Ryan, now Nuno.
Yeah.
But also the other thing worrying
Big
me
old
about
Ryan Mason, big old mean Ryan Mason as
yeah,
well.
yeah, exactly.
Well.
But you know what's worrying me as well about this first half, second. If you remember against Man City, we were superb in the second half.
Yes, very good.
If you remember against Watford,
yeah,
we were very good in this. Once Lucas came on, like that.
Yeah.
So we seem to have gone from playing well in the second half,
to
now playing well in the first half,
but not the second
Yeah,
half.
so I don't get what it.
At least it's better than. Do you remember Mourinho? We used to get a goal up and always concede in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, that was just.
So at least we've dispelled that one, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if we could actually do it for 90 minutes. But I mean, what do you think though with the Ndombele? Do you think that he starts the next game, Jack? Do you think he's a starter, or do you think he's someone that you bring on?
I think he's still a starter because, like, maybe I would advocate that, you know, with Skippy and Højbjerg, we know that they can cover up for other people's mistakes. Even in this last match, it wasn't even just Tanguy, and as I will admit, it was almost mostly Tanguy in certain moments. A lot of hospital passes kind of made by certain players, I would say, especially our midfielders. And it just seemed like Skippy, as you guys said, while Tanguy kind of faded out of the game. I loved how you guys said that. Skippy seemed to grow more into the game, and some of the ways he was able to even part away the midfield as well, just go right through them, you know, break some of the presses that he had on top of them as well. He seemed absolutely brilliant. And I would say with maybe Højbjerg, who I think is just becoming a whole new type of player as well. I think Højbjerg, he still has some of the most shot-creating actions of our entire team, so it just speaks to maybe Højbjerg just becoming one of the most creative players in our side. If you have Højbjerg, Skippy, you just need somebody that has that bit of magic, that bit of X factor, you might say. And I think we all know that's probably Tanguy, and unfortunately, that's not as much Gio or Dele anymore.
That's good. It's a very, very good point, because we've tried last season, the dream midfield we always say was Højbjerg, Lo Celso, and Tanguy, and it just never ever worked.
There's very rarely on the pitch together.
Exactly. And I think what we've needed to find is identify two holding midfielders, or one definite holding, one kind of just off the holding, and then it allows
for that
Tanguy to roam free.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do what he wants, and I think, Jack, you're right. I think that is going forward. If we could just get Tanguy to have a bit more stamina.
Even just for the Arsenal match, guys, do you feel like that might be what we need? Is because of course we still need that defensive solidity, and I'm thinking then if we have those two together, Højbjerg and Skippy, and then as well if we have Japhet Tanganga. I've called this before, it's like a Bermuda Triangle of, you know, players that all want to break somebody's leg or whatever it may be, and so you just kind of consider all you need is just that magical number 10 right in front of them. And in my opinion, Tanguy, Harry Kane, Sonny, and then maybe Lucas or someone else, maybe even Brian Hill at this rate, with how great I thought he looked, you might say that that's an unbelievable, you know, kind of front three / front four to a degree. It just would actually be even that bit of attacking football that we're all looking for, because we know Tanguy is all about the attacking football, certainly not the defensive kind.
I think what you got to think about as well, that with Tanguy, that's now going to be 4 games in 10 days. Now, you know, for a professional, we'd say, yup, that's...
Yeah, but for Tanguy, that's...
right now, that is like... That's like a marathon. He's just done the London Marathon, 4 games in a...
Yeah, that's
4 games in 10 days.
to him, isn't it?
So that's what we've got to pay into fact. But listen, it's not... He'll go home now, he'll relax, whatever.
Nice bath,
he'll do that. And thankfully, we're playing Sunday. It's Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. So it's not a Saturday game. So
hopefully, maybe the goal was actually that bit of confidence. And then I might even say, you know, it's possible that goal almost gave him too much confidence, because then he just started practically sabotaging the team. I mean, I must admit, as much as I am to a degree a Tanguy sexual, I just will say I was absolutely livid. You know, the fact that Dendoncker could even finish a header from that range. I mean, that was practically outside the 18-yard box, you know, where he finished that from. It's not really, I don't think, as much as I think Galini, kind of similar to even the Daniel Podence, I thought actually Galini could have done a bit better on the Daniel Podence, you know, finish, because I kind of thought like everybody knew that he was going to hit a far post and curl it, and for some reason he thought he was going near post. You know, I don't know much about goalkeeping, but all I can say is that was a bit questionable. And then also for somebody to finish a header from that sort of range also was a bit questionable. But again, it just fell on Tanguy on both occasions, because at least in that, maybe it's a good point actually. I did maybe say to the ref even at a certain point, I was like, why is that a corner? And then it turned out, you know, to be a goal after as well. So I think that is a good point. Probably shouldn't have been a corner, but Tanguy, he like threw his foot up, not his head. And as well, even if the fact that he threw his foot up, you would actually say, if let's say Dendoncker, you know, maybe lowered his head a bit more, it could have been a penalty. Because, you know, why are you even putting your foot up that high? You're supposed to hit it with your head. And he seemed like he maybe was too concerned with, I don't know, the hair dye or whatnot. That looks really good.
I thought we've got to keep the blonde. Hashtag keep the blonde.
I do like the blonde on him.
Hashtag blondes have more fun.
Cisco.
Yeah,
he's got that Cisco vibe going on.
Than Phil Foden's. We got it as well. You know, no racing stripes on the side as well, which is a bit ridiculous. So I think, you know, Tanguy's pulling it off a lot better. And it's just a bit unfortunate that he had 2 moments where I would say, to a degree, kind of sabotaged us. And I'm glad that he still had that goal, to maybe have me jumping out of my chair, have me kind of soiling myself to a degree over it. But I would say, I think he still deserves that spot. I still think he deserves
you still
that
think he
spot
starts.
in the
Okay,
match.
Jack, I do take issue with you using the sexual line with Tanguy when it's exclusively for Mora, and you know that, don't you?
Probably
you do know that, don't
to
you?
a degree, maybe to a degree, that's where I get a little, I get too ahead of myself. With Lucas, he probably deserves, more of a huge. I would say the more sexual fan club. If you're not in it, I mean, I don't know.
Who are you?
As a Spurs fan, yeah.
If you're not in it, who are you? Really?
Fan? Not only does he provide the work rate, the effort, but he also provides the skills, just like Tanguy does. He loves to skin a man for a living, just like Tanguy does. So all I can say is, the more sexual fan club. If you're not in it, at this rate, John should probably question you as a Spurs fan.
Question you as a human being, I think.
I think that's right. I mean, you and me together have been saying that. I mean, Lucas Moura is the way forward.
It is. It's always the way forward. All right. Okay. This is the best bit here, right?
Here you go.
Okay. Best player. Did you watch it? Sorry, Jack. Did you watch the game? Yeah, all of it.
No, he's just like
no, because some streams they couldn't watch bits of it, could they?
Right, I fortunately actually was, for the first time in my life, considering we're across the pond over here. Usually we're a bit behind you folks, but for some reason, I was actually ahead of the majority of British viewers, which is again a huge privilege of mine. I would say those are the kind of victories that we'll take over here.
Ahead of
it sometimes happens.
You're a privileged young man.
What a privilege! Yeah, really, I was thanking the stars, thanking the heavens for it. Really, it was a real privilege.
All right, so remember, it's quick fire, Jack.
Right. No, I got it.
Okay, right. Best player, weakest link, and fit into what you got.
We've got 2 strikers and a
3 places left from the Premier League era to go into our 11.
Yeah, best player, and this is coming out of left field, maybe to a degree. Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I thought didn't put a foot wrong. Had unbelievable pirouettes. Honestly, the megs he was going for as well were just absolutely naughty. And then I would say weakest link, Gio. I think Gio just continues to just underwhelm, and even this match as well. There's a reason, despite how much Tanguy sabotaged us, there's a reason why Gio was taken off. And then I'm so surprised this is this easy for me, but Moussa Dembele, I'm so surprised.
Hang on. But if he says that, we're gonna have to reshape the formation to fit him in.
Doesn't matter. You have to fit Moussa Dembele.
Go for a 4-5-1.
Okay,
no, that's fine. So Jack's called it. He said it.
We just need a goalkeeper for the Spurs past,
and the 2 strikers, and 1 striker.
But that's 1 striker.
Dembele and Modric together,
and Van der Vaart and Bale. Oh my God, this too.
Here's the thing. This is why Moussa Dembele, what Tanguy tried to pull off in the middle of the park against Wolves and absolutely got eaten up by Hwang Hee-chan. If you think that Hwang Hee-chan would have done that to Moussa Dembele, you're absolutely wrong. Exactly. I mean, Moussa Dembele would have shoved him over, practically knocked him out of the stadium for even trying to take the ball off of him there. Exactly. So that's why I would go Moussa Dembele, just because we wouldn't have even had to go to penalties. We wouldn't have known. He would have just been absolutely like you said, like Modric to a degree. Just that guy could be 6'7" the way that he was, and he would still be gliding across the pitch. That he's just beautiful to watch. So I would say Moussa Dembele, and I'm
good shout, man. Good shout. I like that. You
This
forced us to change our formation.
Yeah, that's
the power of Jack. That's the power of Jack.
That's the power of Jack. And look how we adapted to that very quickly.
And just finally, I just want to say for everyone watching, please check out Jack's channel. He's a great lad. He's always supported our channel. He's always been a regular, and he's donned the flat cap and he's created the flat cap Euro Talk. You can find it on YouTube. He's got. I just subscribed the other day, and he's got brilliant videos where he's doing like very in-depth analysis on everything, and he supports Harris's channel.
He does
a lot of other people's channels. So let's all support each other. He's a great guy as well. So,
he is a fantastic dude. He's a brother of mine.
Flat Cap Euro Talk and give him some love over there. Jack, enjoy the rest of your evening, my son.
Jack, have a great evening, buddy.
Thank you, boys. That was absolutely spectacular. We'll say we got it planned, got it done. I'm now ready to talk to the missus. Apologize for the screaming from earlier.
Get some whiskey and honey down you, and then your sore throat will be all right.
The throat as well after this. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Have a great one, Jack, buddy.
All good. I like Jack. He's such a cool dude.
He is indeed.
He's a cool dude. Oh, but look at this though. We have got the Godfather coming on right now. That's what we need. A little bit of the Godfather. Hopefully in some good spirits. Dave, how we doing? David Harris. Hit me, baby.
Look, it's always a great day when Tottenham win, especially when Harry Kane gets on the score sheet.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get any better right now. That's all I can say.
Do you know what? He had a good game, didn't he?
No, he did. Look, a lot of people doubt Harry Kane. I was starting to question myself, but what I've learned today is never ever question the great man. The guy, you know, sometimes he just starts off slow, but one thing he will do is he will get you goals. And today he took his goals. Oh, the way he just took his goal, honestly, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Look, it's something that a lot of us Spurs fans never thought we'd see again over the summer. So what I will say is, it's just, look, let's learn a lesson. Enjoy your great ways at the club and celebrate every goal he scores. Honestly, I was going absolutely ballistic when he scored. I nearly put my head through the wall. I couldn't believe it.
All right, mate. Don't you know?
Yeah, so,
we need you. We need you for the pump ups.
So, David, as I was saying, I mean, as you know, when I was on your show a couple of days ago, I did the exact opposite of waxing lyrical. Actually, I was very, very critical of him, as you know. And as you know, I'll always say today was so, but it wasn't just his play. It was his. I went in on Harry Kane on his show. His body language. Remember, I spoke a lot about his body language at the game. That it was not only was his play completely different, but his attitude and everything there. So the Harry Kane turned up, and the second thing I want to say, I was saying to
John,
to say Jason, I do know your name, buddy. Hi. But yeah, it was you that said if Kane has a haircut, he has a good game, wasn't it?
No, well, yeah, I did say that, but also I can tell by, you know, how his hair is before the game that when he'll score or not. So.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. 'Cause he looked sharp. He looked
sharp. He looked sharp and ready to go, didn't he?
I'm the Kane whisperer. You know, that's what they call.
Who else stood out for you though, David?
Well, look, you know, I'm definitely a believer, that's for sure. Look, I absolutely love this guy. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I do. I think he's absolutely world class. Look, he well, not world class yet, but he will reach that levels. Just to see someone manipulate a ball like he does, it's sexy. It is sexy, and it's good to see a player like that back at Tottenham. Look, for me, ultimately, I don't think he will end up staying out well. I think he will end up moving into a cam role. I think that's where you see the very best of this kid in the future. He can go left, he can go right. And for me, look, I was so disappointed he didn't score. He was so close, John. Really, you know, just with the outstretched foot. But honestly, you know, I could have ended up with concussion. That would have been the second time I would have had to nearly put my head through the wall if he scored. Because but look, I just say to everybody out there, just make sure you become a believer. You know what I mean?
Hang on. Golini, leave. Could be Golini as well, couldn't it?
No, look, John, leave the nicknames to me. I'm better.
But what about the penalty, David? The hop, skip, and a jump. That penalty was sublime.
No, look, I knew he was going to score. I knew. Look, you know, even the little stutter and everything, it was just beautiful. Straight into the top corner, the roof of the net. You know, look, you know, Harry Kane is obviously the best at penalties. His penalty straight into the side net. There's no saving it. The power he hit it. Yeah. But then second best penalty, I have to say, was Brian Hill's. I absolutely loved it. Great penalty. But look, it is nice to see that the kid has composure. He could have very easily stepped up there today, you know, and showed a bad mentality, but he didn't. And I know it's only the Carabao Cup third round, but he showed composure and dispatched it home, and that's what we want.
Yeah,
completely. Yeah, I agree. Who else? Skip. What do you think of Ollie Skip? I think as Dembele phased out, he really stood up and put out fires.
No, look, a lot of people, you know, they're getting on Skip's back lately, but what we have to understand is Skip's not in there to play ball. Skip's in there to turn over the ball and win the ball back. Exactly what he does. And we have to understand his role in the team. And when you do, he's absolutely phenomenal at it. And what I love about him, Brian and John, is that he's proactive, he's not reactive. He can already see the pass coming and he's already up their arse. You know what I mean? Trying to poke the ball away from him. And go back and watch all the games. He's always disrupting play. I think he's next to none at it. And look, I absolutely love the kid. And it's just great to see, you know, someone like him come up from the academy. And the difference between him and Harry Winks is because if you look at Skip, he does play a lot of sideways passes and he does retain the ball. But the difference between him and Winks is the physicality. Skip is not afraid to get in amongst them and bust a few legs, you know, whereas Winks doesn't want it. You know, Winks would rather be asked to be subbed off than make a tackle. But look, you know, with Skip coming through, absolutely, I'm loving life. But with Tanganga as well, you know, usually, you know, you tell your player, just, you know, every so often leave something on your man. Honestly, that guy does it every single time. Sometimes I think he's playing rugby. You know, I absolutely love to see. He just assaults people. Jaffet manhandler. I absolutely love watching him. We need a player like that in the dressing room. I'd say he's an absolute nutcase. I love him.
Yeah, good shot, man.
He's definitely got to start the NLD on Sunday. Tanganga. And,
yeah.
And no Emerson.
He's still young though as well, and he's probably only how many games has he actually played when he actually put them all together? Probably not that many.
I don't think
less than 20.
I think less than 10 in the Premier League.
Yeah,
in the
and
Premier League,
we still demand so much from him, and he's still like coming out on top, you know. And I just think he had one bad game against Palace when he had a rush of blood. We seem to expect a lot from Tanga, and he's still passing the test with all the fans.
Without doubt.
So I think he's doing for such a young guy superb.
This is the thing, John. You can expect more from Tanganga because you know he's going to deliver. He's not going to crumble under the expectations.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see at Tottenham. Players standing up to the expectations, what's expected of them. And look, I firmly believe you can put anyone up against this guy. He's just going to absolutely crush them. You know what I mean? He's going to put them into a sandwich and eat them. I absolutely love the guy.
And he's only 22.
Well, the thing is as well, I actually think that red card in the long run is going to help him because now he's realised... Like, I can't go in, I've got to learn to keep myself calm. I can't be so rash when I pick up a booking. Like you say, you can only learn from you learn from your mistakes. He's made one early, and now he can build on it and start to learn.
Definitely.
He looks a lot more... okay, he's back today, but he didn't look completely rash.
Yeah.
Even Skip. David, you and me spoke about Skip, do you remember? And I said he was getting booked every game, and I didn't like it. And he seems to have cleaned that. He seems to have settled down with that as well.
Yeah, no, in fairness to him, but look, that all comes with games.
Exactly.
And experience. The thing is, I'll be honest with you, right? I understand that the point where people are coming from with the bookings, you get the accumulation, you end up getting suspensions, and then, you know, it could end up throwing you out of rhythm in your games and everything else like that. But I don't mind our players taking the yellow cards, as long as it means we're getting results and seeing the games out. You know, I don't mind them picking up the yellow cards, because too often in the past, I've watched players just run through our team, beat 3 or 4 players, and no one's willing to take them down. So it's good to see that we are getting the cards. Look, another player I do want to talk about is Ronald McDombele. Look, I can use the exact same quote. Quote from last week to this week. You know, Endon Baller in the first half, Ronald McDombele in the second half. Look, this guy is really frustrating. The first goal. He's so lazy, man. He's so lazy. If there was a Big Mac hanging off that wire or not a TV camera, he would have jumped and got that head. But the fact there wasn't, he threw a lazy leg and they got a goal. It's the same like last week from Dele Alli from the corner kicks. That's now becoming a problem. That's a clear problem. The second goal, right? There's 3 players around him. He knows his 2 wing backs are gone because they're not there to give him an option to pass the ball. He knows he's left with 2 centre backs, which creates a 3 because there's 3 Wolves players pressing him. So you either go back to Gaglini or you go out long out wide, and he done neither. And you know, instead of trying to use his muscle to try and realize where he was on the pitch, like he knew if they took that ball off him, it was 3-on-2 and they were breaking in, and that's ultimately what happened. And the thing is, he just went down because he was tired. That's all it was. He could have used his strength and his pace to hold off Hwang. You know, he's not the strongest of kids, but he didn't. He went down because he was tired, and we gifted him a goal. And this is the problem with Ndombele, and this is why it's so frustrating. We spent 60-odd million on this guy, and we're getting 45 minutes out and paying 200 grand a week, and this guy's supposed to be an athlete. The least I expect on 200 grand a week is an athlete. At least Musa Sissoko, at least he was fit, and he would do things. With Ndombele, he's becoming a liability for the team because you can only get 45 minutes out of the fucker.
But would you not argue though that it's his first week back and he's played 3 weeks and 3 games in a week, and this is just him coming back into the side, and maybe he will become that player that we saw last season?
No, look, there is that argument. But look, first week back, he's been here 2 years now, 2.5 years. You know what I mean? 4 different managers, and they all come to the same conclusion that he's just lazy. You know what I mean? And they don't know where to fit him into the team, because nowadays, especially if you want to go and win things, you want to be in that top 6 in the Premier League. Every individual on the team has to work hard and put in their shift, bar your superstar. But Ndombele doesn't warrant being the superstar. But unfortunately, I think we're at the point with our midfield that you have to play him. You have to play him for the creativity. Sorry, guys. But if you do play him, you have to put the hard-working players behind him in Hill and Højbjerg to be able to allow him to flourish, to be able to what he does. Basically just ask him not really to do much tracking back, but be in positions to receive the ball and start feeding Harry Kane, start feeding Sonny, whoever it may be. But look, we have to sort out this issue, and it's now or never. He's on the cusp of being in the first 11 every week, as long as he can improve his fitness. But he's also on the cusp of being extinguished yet again so early, because he's a liability. Like today, we create our problems, and he allowed Wolves back into that game single-handedly.
Strong words, I guess. Yeah,
it is. I mean, I don't have David.
Sobering words. I mean, I can see what you're saying there. I mean, on the ball he's excellent, but he does burn out after about 50 minutes, and then for me he is a liability, you know. And he shouldn't just be a 50-minute player. But I would say I want to give him a couple of weeks, get his fitness up, because I think he is going to become like he was a 50-minute player last season for the first third of the season, and then he became a 90-minute player right until the end, up until like the last 5 games. Then he started to burn out again. But for a good portion of the last season, he was a 90-minute player. So I'm going to judge him, let's say in a couple of weeks' time. I think 2 or 3 weeks' time.
So what we've got, Arsenal, then Villa.
Oh, then bar the international break. So the next load of games. And I think then, if he's still looking like he's trudging around and he's sort of slow off the ball, then I think there is going to be question marks there. But yeah, good points though. By the way, David, as we're doing it with everyone, I don't know if you've been watching, but best player, weakest link, and fit. We've got 2 places left. Has to get into our 11.
Goalkeeper or a striker. Yeah. That you could pick.
I know what he's going to go for.
Okay.
He's going to go for Harry Kane.
Look, best player, Harry Kane. Absolutely. Purely because I'm delighted to see him score again. You know, and hopefully he can kick on from here in perfect timing with the Gooners at the weekend. Liability, I'd have to say Ndombele after my expert analysis on Ronald McNombele, to be honest with you. And look, I'm going to go for... Look, I'll do the 2 of them for you because I don't think there's any guests left, so I may as well. Look, goalkeeper, I would have to say Hugo Lloris, just from my generation. Look, you know, he restored my faith in goalkeepers after growing up watching Ian Walker. Striker, look, there's a few shouts for striker.
He's going to go Harry Kane. You know he's going to go Harry Kane.
Yeah, well, look, I was going to go. It's between 4 for me. It's between Klinsmann, Kane, Keane, and Berbatov.
What a dream that is. What a wet dream that is.
I'm naming all them strikers, you know. But no, look, for me, I think out of a lot of them, just for the longevity so far, I have to say Harry Kane.
Yeah, surprise.
And the fact of the player that he's become. No, look, it's not biased or anything. I could have picked Robbie Keane if I wanted to be biased.
Yeah, you could have done.
I think out of them, I think just for longevity and consistency, I'd have to say. Harry Kane.
I think that's a good shout.
Best number 10 to ever play in the lane.
Yeah, fantastic. So you actually completed this. You completed our Panini set there.
Yeah, the only thing I'd change, and I love this goalkeeper so much, I would take Hugo out, but it's not because I think he's a better goalkeeper. It's just because I haven't. I have a love for Paul Robinson. I love Paul Robinson, and I would say he's more of a cult hero for me. I love Robbo. So
yeah, but you know who I would have? You're gonna laugh at this. There's one season with Gomez is the best. Any performance from any Premier League goalie you've ever had.
Spurs
2009. That season that Gomez had is better than any performance I've ever seen. But it depends if you take longevity and reputation as a whole, or just like you cherry pick like one season. Because for the rest of it, he was a clown, wasn't he? But I think Hugo is a good.
I think Hugo will win it. I just have an affinity for Paul Robinson. I love him.
Affinity for Paul Robinson. Yeah,
I love him.
Don't we?
I love Robbo. He's just superb.
Do you know what? We should do an 11 of most loved players as well. That should be for next time. We'll do that next time, guys.
Next watch.
But David, thank you for completing our Panini set there, and great insights as always. David does the pre-match pump up. He's got his own channel. Quick plug.
Yeah, no, over at the Irish Hotspur, guys, that's where I'm from, so make sure you get over there and smash the subscribe. If you're a fan of WeAreTottenhamTV, you want to be a fan of the Irish Hotspur. Just quickly, everybody can't wait to rock up at the Emirates next weekend with Lacazette, Saka, Sheikh, Kieran, Tony, We're going to absolutely steamroll through the Emirates. We're going to absolutely beat them at home, on their home turf. We're ready. And we're taking the 3 points. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Always trust. And big up Brian and John. Absolute cracking fan show today.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. And do you know what? I've only spoken to you, David. We keep arranging to talk. I've only spoken to you on a Spurs stream. So let's try and talk tomorrow.
Yeah. Make sure you ring me tomorrow, man. Look, I've just been busy. The lads were asking the other day. The fact they were fangirling me the other day to come on the channel and that. I've just been busy. But don't worry. I'll get you all sorted out.
Don't leave him hanging, David. Come on.
No, I won't. No, Brian. Make sure you give me a ring, man.
I'll give you a call, brother.
Enjoy yourselves. And at the end of the day, I don't care whether we won on penalties. We won. Enjoy it, everybody.
Enjoy it.
Correct.
Exactly.
Good night, buddy.
You have to enjoy these moments. See you, matey. So that was the last call then, yeah. So we did get our 11. And do you want to do you want to run us through the lineup?
Oh God, do I need to do it in the hot shot?
Vinny, can you get some graphics up and get all the names up?
Okay, no, I'll take it. So we had Lloris in goal.
Yeah, solid.
Left back of
Bale.
Gareth Bale 1.
Yeah, fantastic.
Or Gareth Bale, whichever you're looking.
Yeah, yeah.
Centre backs of Vertonghen and King.
Perfect.
And right back Walker.
Brilliant.
Then we had a 5 in midfield.
Yeah.
And this 5.
No, this 5 is pretty incredible.
It's Modric, Dembele, Van der Vaart, Ginola, and the other Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane up front.
That is pretty solid, isn't it?
That is a team and a half.
There's no weaknesses in that team, is there?
There's not a single chink in that armour. Although I think they might not allow us to play 2 Gareth Bales.
Yeah, they might. The officials might have a bit of a word to say.
Yeah, but I think
about
next week we'll have to do that. Most like cult hero.
We're going to do just like the most likable players, not necessarily how well they played, but just how much of an affinity that we had.
Yeah.
And I think Robbo's a great shout for that. Yeah. So that can be your pick for
there
the
you
next
go.
game.
And Gazza is the captain.
Yeah.
So yeah,
as always. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all your support and all the likes, the super chats, the great comedy in the chat room. Thanks to Jack's half moustache. I'm only joking, mate. It was just the light shining on you. I'm only messing with you. Bit of banter. Yeah, thanks for all your calls. Excellent. And of course, Brian, how did you enjoy that today?
Mate, Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, I've done an interview with you when I've been on the other side of the pond. And it was like, yes, I'm doing it with John. But today, and they got Vinny in the background.
Dream team. We've got the dream team going on here.
It's just been a great thing. I've loved doing it. We're doing it again.
Yeah. What game are we doing again?
We are. So I'm back for, I think it's Newcastle and Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Or maybe the West Ham one. I think maybe West Ham.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak to Ben to see if I can come back for Burnley so we can keep our Carabao Cup.
Let's just keep it going.
Let's just keep the Carabao Cup
We're taking over.
We're going to have to do that.
And also just want to say shouts out to Vinny, our producer in the corner. We're doing the easy thing.
Nobody puts Vinny in the corner.
Yeah. We're doing the easy thing of drinking the beers. He's doing all the hard work. So just want to say respect.
I'm not drinking beers, by the way.
Oh no, of course, no, sorry. It's well, it's Sprite. I'm joking. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been an awesome stream. Thanks for all your contributions and your support. And of course, we will see you in the next show. Should we synchronise?
Yeah, but I can't. I say the X absolute. So on 3.
Ready?
1,
3, 2,
2, 3.
1.
Come on.
out. Oh yeah. Yeah.